it is manually if you want to do, it is little complicated. Compilation, execution process also you have to learn. But all people learned or not learned, I don't know. Java C -D option will be there in core Java class I taught. Again, that is you have to apply. That's what I will do. Instead of writing .java .class separate, present I'll give on both in one place. Okay. Now WebINF folder. In this WebINF folder, classes present in a classes folder only .java file also will place present. Okay. Later, anyhow, we use Eclipse. At the time, we'll go for .class, separate automatically generated. Okay. .classes file here, like first servlet .java, first servlet .class. Now, if we use Eclipse, these two automatically separated in Eclipse. Manually, if you want to do with -D option, you have to do. Okay, Java C -D. Now, first servlet.java will compile first servlet.class. After this, web.xml. Now, present jar files, HTML file, those are not required for welcome program. First welcome program purpose only this is enough. Okay. Now, this is first web application folder structure. First.var. Now, here, this file, this folder structure, WebINF, it is compulsory WebINF only. It should be classes only. It should be web.xml only. Remaining whatever you want, you can write. Now, whatever I given tick mark, that is compulsory. This folder name must be web-inf. This folder name must be classes in small letters. It is capital letter with hyphen. It is small letters. It is web.xml. That file name should be web only, extension .xml only. Here first.var, whatever you want, you can write. Now, after this, what we'll do? We'll develop application. After that, we'll deploy in server. Suppose it is web server. Like this, we are going to select Tomcat web server. Tomcat web server. This application I'll deploy here. This application I'll deploy in a server. First.var. After this, from browser, I'll send the request. From browser, I'll send the request. Already I told you, for understanding this complete program word by word, 3 days it will take. 3 days. Today onwards, 3 days. So Wednesday, Friday, Thursday, Friday, 3 days it will take. Once if you understand first program, second program, nothing. In 5 minutes you can do. Okay. Now, because advanced Java very simple. Only library. That's it. Now, from browser, I'll send the request. This browser is nothing but web client. Browser is nothing but web client. Now, any one browser. Web client. Now, from web client, I'll send the request. This request is called HTTP request. Then from server, response comes. From server, response comes, HTTP response. This is HTTP response. Then you will get output welcome. That's it. This is first program. Write this structure, everything. So you should have a patience. 3 days it will take to explain. 3 days. Today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Okay. Then you will get a complete clarity. 100% clarity comes. First web application, folder structure, and output. Here, what is URL, what is URL, what is URN, what is HTTP, everything I'll cover. Is it over? Not over? So here one root folder we have to create first. Root folder name, for example, I selected first app. In that root folder, WebINF. In that WebINF, classes. So these three folders we have to create first. First app, WebINF, classes. In that classes, we'll write one Java program, Servlet program. After that, we'll compile. We'll get a .class file. After that, one configuration file, web.xml. Now, you will get so many doubts. What is web.xml? Why we need to create like this? Why this folder structure? And what is HTTP? What is URL? What is URI? What is URN? So many doubts comes. These all 3 days it takes time to explain. Okay. Today onwards up to Friday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. In 3 classes, only 1 program will study. But in next class, only 4 or 5 programs will study. Possible. It is possible. First program, each and every word you should understand. That purpose, explanation time, it will take. Explanation purpose, it will take time. But next day, 3 or 4 programs in a 1 day you can learn. Possible. Because same style will be there. Same procedure. Every day same procedure. Okay. Now, one folder we have to create. For example, first app. In that WebINF, in that classes, we have to write Servlet program. We have to compile. After that, XML. Later, we have to create WAR file. This WAR file, we have to deploy in server. That is called our web application that is deployed. From browser, you have to send request. Then output comes welcome. This is our task. This is our task. Okay. Now, creating folders are nothing. Just right click, new folder, will create in Windows. In a DOS operating system, MD, first app, CD, first app, like that will create. And writing Servlet program, first Servlet's library required. So for writing this program, first of all, we required Servlet's library. That Servlet library, I'll explain. Now, note on Servlet's library, Servlet's API. Servlet's API. Servlet's API. Servlet's API is a Java API that can be used to develop web applications. Servlet's API is a Java API that can be used to develop web applications. Now, there are two packages like Java x.servlet package. This is Jakarta.servlet package. Java x.servlet.hdp package or Jakarta.servlet.hdp package. So up to tomcat 9, Java X, tomcat 10 onwards, Jakarta. The package name changed. Okay. That's what Java X, Jakarta X, Jakarta dot like that. Either this or this. Now, first one, Java X dot servlet or Jakarta dot servlet package. In this package, classes, interfaces. First one, generic servlet. Servlet. Servlet input stream. Servlet request. Servlet output stream. Write clearly, each word first letter is capital and no space between words. Servlet response. Servlet exception. Servlet config. Each word first letter is capital and no space between words. Each word first letter is capital. No space between words. Unavailable exception. Servlet context. Request dispatcher. Single thread model. These 5 classes, 7 interfaces, if you are familiar, you can write programs in this package. So advanced Java, only you should know methods, you should know classes, you should know interfaces, you should know package name. With that knowledge, any program you can write. Only first program, if you know, second program, same style. See, observe, JDBC programs you have seen. First program, later second program onward, same style will be there. Here also, first program, if you understand, second program in a 5 minutes, you can complete. It is possible. Java x.servlet or Jakarta.servlet. In first package, 5 classes, 7 interfaces. Each word first letter is capital. No space between words. Write clearly. Next, second package, Java x.servlet.hdp. Jakarta.servlet.hdp. HTTP. Second package. Here classes. Interfaces. HTTP Servlet. HTTP Servlet request. HTTP session. HTTP Servlet response. Sorry, here 1 minute. Here HTTP session is an interface. HTTP Servlet cookie. 2 classes, 3 interfaces in this package. In this package, 2 classes, 3 interfaces. So 10 interfaces, total 7 classes. With this only Servlets will understand. HTTP Servlet request, HTTP Servlet response, HTTP session. 3 interfaces. HTTP Servlet cookie classes. Write it. Servlet API is a part of Servlet API.jar file in a Tomcat web server. So it is not a part of Java development kit. That's what we have to install server first. We have to download Tomcat server. We have to install Tomcat server. Servlet's API. Servlet's API is a part of Servlet API.jar file in a Tomcat web server. So first of all, we have to download Tomcat web server. We have to download Tomcat web server. We have to install Tomcat web server. We have to set the class path. Then only we can see this data. Okay. And even in Eclipse also, we have to configure. Compulsory configuration required. Is it over? Now. 1 minute. In my system also, I changed system. Anyhow, in my system also, Tomcat not there. I'll download, I'll install, I'll show you. Now, next node, steps to download Tomcat web server. Steps to download Tomcat web server. Steps to download Tomcat web server. First step, open the browser. Is it on? 1 minute. Tomcat 11 also introduced, but it is alpha version. Better to go for Tomcat 10. Okay, because it is alpha version. See, Tomcat versions 8, 9, 10, 11 we have. Better to go for Tomcat 10. It is alpha version, not finalized. Now, open a browser. After that, open Google. In that Google, Tomcat 10 download directly, right? Better. 1 minute. Tomcat 10 download. Now write it. First step, open the browser. Second step, open Google. Third step, type Tomcat 10 download in search bar. Fourth step, click on the following hyperlink. Click on the following hyperlink. Open the browser, open Google, type Tomcat 10 download in search bar. Click on the following hyperlink. Tomcat.apache.org. Apache Software Foundation company, they developed Tomcat web server. So official website, apache.org. Is it over? Now, so seeing this CGA, don't think it is CGA program. Okay, I'll explain. We can configure C++ also, possible. Now, Java program you can write, you can configure in URL C++ also. It is possible. CGA already outdated. Now, is it over? Next, scroll down. After that, you have to click on this one. Okay. Next, scroll down. Next, click on the following hyperlink. (32-bit) or 64-bit Windows Service Installer. Click on the following hyperlink. 32-bit, 64-bit Windows Service Installer. 32-bit, 64-bit Windows Service Installer. Is it over? See, this is you have to click. It is going to be downloaded. See, downloaded in my system. Apache Tomcat 10 exe file. Downloading completed. This is you have to install. Next, steps to install Tomcat web server. Steps to install Tomcat web server. Now, steps to install Tomcat web server. Open downloads folder. Click on, or double click on Apache Tomcat 10.exe file. This is, suppose in my system, Apache Tomcat 10.0.27 installed. Double click on Apache Tomcat. C file. Double click on Apache iPhone Tomcat iPhone 10.0.27.exe file. Is it over? One minute, wait. Now, okay. Now, double click on this one. Here, downloads folder. Double click on this one. Click on S button. Click on next button. 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 Say I'll click on next button. Click on I agree button. Click on I agree button. Now here, if you want host manager examples, if you want to see Tomcat built-in examples, you select all checkboxes, click on next button. Select all checkboxes. Click on next button. Select all checkboxes. Click on next button. Say next button, I'll click. Here, server shutdown port, better to write 8005. This is also, you make it 8082. Why? I'll explain. Because there are Oracle software will be there. Oracle port number also 8080. That is the reason I changed server shutdown port. Type server shutdown port. (8005). Type HTTP 1.1 connector port. Type HTTP. I'll explain. 1.1 connector port. 8082. Now username, for example, admin. Password, example, admin. Whatever you want, you can write. I'm writing admin. Type username. admin. Type password admin. Type username admin. Type password admin. You better to make it 8005. It is 8082. You better to write these port numbers only. Because 8080, many servers same port number will be there. That ambiguity comes. Shutdown port, it is compulsory write 8005 only. Otherwise, it may or may not work. 8005 8082. Type username admin. Pass this username password whatever you want you can write. But port numbers you follow, this is only better. Okay. Username password whatever you want you can write. But you remember, don't forget. Again, while loading, deploying, not possible otherwise. Click on next button. Click on next button. Now by default Java path selected. So see, please select the Java path like I already selected. So again, click on next button. Again, click on next button. Now where it is going to be installed, location comes default. So continue that one only. Click on next install button. Click on install button. Say first Java path. Next, where it is going to be installed, that location it will ask. That is by default comes, whatever it comes, you continue that one only. If you want to change the location, you have to change by clicking on browse button. Say install. It is going to be installed. Installed. These all later will run. I'll remove. Click on finish button. Click on finish button. Tomcat server downloading, Tomcat server installing completed. Tomcat downloading, Tomcat installing completed. Okay. Now you observe. I'll open command prompt. Here Java P, Java X dot. Now it is Jakarta. Dot Servlet. I'm writing. It is showing class not found. Okay. So class not found. Okay. Because now Tomcat installed, but class path not settled. That is the reason it is showing like that. Now to view solid class, we need to set the class path. To view Servlet's API, we need to set the class path. To view Servlet's API, we need to set the class path. To view Servlet's API, we need to set the class path. First, temporary class path. See, these all you should learn. Always don't depend on IDEs. Okay, this knowledge is also required. Temporary class path. See, this PC, C drive, program files, Apache Software Foundation, Tomcat 10, lib, here, Servlet-API. Up to here, we need to set the class path. That's what. Command prompt. Set node set class path equal to percentile class path percentile double quotes dot semicolon. After that, Servlet API dot jar semicolon. That is complete. Set space class path percentile in double quotes dot semicolon C drive program files Apache Software Foundation Tomcat 10.0 lib Servlet API dot jar semicolon. So already while teaching JDBC also I covered this one. What is this one? It is a command to set the class path. What is this one? Append mode. Already existed class paths will be there. This class path appended. So up to here Tomcat server location. After that Tomcat. After that library Servlet API. For this one you have to set. So again this is no need to explain. Already JDBC time I explained. Core Java class also explained. See here. It is a command to set the class path. It is append mode. Already existed class path. This class path appended. It is Tomcat server location. This is Tomcat server in that library, in that Servlet library. Okay. This is temporary class path. So I'll write here. Whatever I given, that is only written here. Okay. Now set class path equal to percentile class path percentile in double quotes dot semicolon C drive program files Apache Software Foundation Tomcat 10.0 lib Servlet API dot jar. Now you can see. See Java P Jakarta dot Servlet dot Servlet. Then it shows a Servlet profile. Okay. Now, if you are suppose in your system already Tomcat 9 is there, continue that one only, not a problem. But you must write here Java X. Up to Tomcat 9, that package name is Java X. Tomcat 10 onwards, Jakarta. If you are using Tomcat 9 means go for Java X. If you are using Tomcat 10 means Jakarta. Okay. Java also Indonesian island name. Jakarta also Indonesian island name. They changed Tomcat 11 onwards. 10 onwards. Okay. Jakarta you have to write. Tomcat 10 means. Say you studied already. Can we write main method in a, if I write main method in a Servlet, is it executed? No. Why? Because Servlet runs in server. Server doesn't know main method. Execution purpose, what is required? Life cycle methods. How many life cycle methods? 3. What are those? When init method called by web container? When init method called by web container. Whenever first request comes to a Servlet. When service method called by web container? For every request. When destroy method called by web container? Whenever Servlet instance removed from web container. When Servlet instance is removed? whenever application is undeployed or server shuts down. When first request comes, how many methods called? Two methods. What are those? Init and service. Second request, service. Third request, fourth request, last request, service only. Service only. Okay. When destroy called? Whenever application undeployed or server shuts down, then only. Okay. Up to last request, service only called. Destroy called, undeploy time, shutdowning time. Okay. Now these three methods belongs to which interface? See, this is Servlet interface. This interface in Jakarta.Servlet package. Okay. Here you observe init method, service method, destroy method. Okay. This is temporary class path. Once if I close this window, that path is vanished. See, again if I open, see, Java P, Jakarta.Servlet. Class not found. Because that is temporary class path. Permanent class path you have to set. If you want again and again, instead of that one, permanent. Not on permanent. Permanent class path. Click on Windows button. Type environment variables. In search bar. Directly that dialog box comes. See, Windows button. Here search environment variables. Just env if you type also it comes. Edit the system variables, system environment variables. The dialog box comes. Click on edit the system environment variables app. Next, here up advanced tab required, environment variable button required. Click on advanced tab. Click on environment variables button. Click on environment variables button. So click on Windows button, type environment variables in search bar, click on edit the system environment variables app, click on advanced tab, click on environment variables button. This already you studied, JDBC also, core Java class also. Okay. Here, after getting this one, you have to click. Here, class path variable already present because you learned JDBC. Select that class path, click on edit, click on new. Here you have to type. Note on. Select the class path variable. Click on edit button. Click on new button. Type the following. Or copy paste. 1 minute. Type the following. Or you can copy paste. semicolon not required. Click on edit button, click on new button, type the following. Select the class path variable, click on edit button, click on new button, type the following. C drive program files, Apache Software Foundation, Tomcat 10.0, lib, Servlet API.jar, semicolon. Semicolon not required. Say Windows button, environment variables, edit the system environment variables. Click on advanced tab, this one. Click on environment variable button, select the class path variable, click on edit button, click on new button, and already copied means paste. Otherwise type Servlet API.jar. After that, OK button, OK button, OK button. Click on OK buttons. Click on OK buttons. Is it over? No. Now you can open command prompt. Command prompt, right click, C, Java C, Java P, Jakarta dot, Servlet. Now it is permanent. Okay. For writing Servlet program, first this is required because lifecycle methods are present here. No. Now, suppose after setting class path also class not found coming. That is your mistake only. Okay. Because if you do any small mistake there, again same error comes. Okay. And Java P not recognized means JDK bin path. JDK bin. Okay. Now this is I'll copy because this knowledge is required to write programs. Now this interface methods. Try this one. For writing program, this knowledge is required. So total 5 methods are there. Package names I'm removing. 5 methods are there. In 5 methods, only 3 methods are life cycle methods. In 5 methods, only 3 methods are life cycle methods. Init, service, destroy. 3 only life cycle methods. That means server knows only 3. Web container knows only 3. Other method server doesn't know. If you are getting class not found exception, class not found means you check it again, that class path. If you are getting Java P not recognized means JDK bin path. JDK bin. Java development kit bin folder. For that you have to set the path. The screenshots are there. I'll share in Google Classroom. Okay. That notes also I'll share. For Java P also, class path also, these all screenshots are there. I'll share. Five methods are there. Okay. See, is it over? All public abstract only. All throws solid exception, solid exception. Okay, only 3 methods are there. Okay. 2 methods throwing exception. Init method, service method. Now you already studied to derive life cycle methods. To derive life cycle methods, what we have to do? Implements Servlet interface. Implement Servlet interface. Suppose while writing Servlet program, suppose first Servlet implements Servlet. You're right. Then these are abstract methods or concrete methods. Now, whenever interface is inverted, then what we have to do? All abstract method must be overridden. Our subclass must be declared with abstract keyword. Otherwise, compile time error occurs. Then how many methods mandatory to override? 5 methods. 5 methods are there, no? 5 methods are mandatory to override. If you don't override any one method, your class becomes abstract class. If abstract class is there, can we create object? No, then lifecycle also not called. So 5 methods mandatory to override. That's what we have an alternative way with a generic Servlet, HTTP Servlet. 2 more ways are there. Writing Servlet program 3 ways. By implementing Servlet interface 1 way, by extending generic Servlet 1 way, by extending HTTP Servlet 1 more way. Best one is HTTP Servlet, but today only not possible all. One by one you'll learn. Okay. Now, implementing Servlet interface possible, extending generic Servlet possible, extending HTTP Servlet also possible. Now, before going to that one, you write this one. Servlet is an interface. Generic Servlet is a class. HTTP Servlet is a class. This hierarchy, write it. It is abstract. It is interface. It is abstract class. It is also abstract class. Here, 5 abstract methods. Here, 1 abstract method. Here, no abstract methods. Solid interface, generic solid, HTTP solid. First program, each and every word you should understand. Okay. With that knowledge, second program onwards, it is nothing. For fun understanding first program only 2 more days you have to wait. But that is only welcome program. Welcome program only 2 more days you have to wait. Okay. Then you will get a 100% clarity. With that knowledge, second program onwards, nothing. Okay. Now, you cannot write main method. If you write also, it is not executed because Servlet runs in server. Server doesn't know main method. Execution purpose lifecycle methods are there. Lifecycle methods are present in Servlet interface. To derive lifecycle, Servlet interface you have to inherit. But if you inherit 5 methods, compulsory you have to override. One more alternative way, generic Servlet. Because Servlet interface already inherited in generic Servlet. Generic Servlet you can inherit in your class. Then one method mandatory to override. Okay, that is one more way. One more way, HTTP Servlet. This is also you can inherit. But there is no abstract methods. No method mandatory. But no method mandatory means if you don't write any method, no error, no output. That will happen. So here they given freedom to select. They given freedom. Like there are list of methods are there. You can select whichever you want. That type they given. That's what. These all understanding, it takes time. In a one day, it is not possible to learn all. Okay. So writing Servlet program 3 ways. By implementing Servlet interface possible. By extending generic Servlet possible. By extending HTTP Servlet possible. But in real time, only HTTP Servlet. They won't use Servlet. They won't use generic Servlet. Why? It will take time to understand. Okay. Now, is it over? But here it is abstract class, but there is no abstract methods. You studied in core Java class. Without abstract methods, also abstract class possible. Okay. Without abstract methods, abstract class possible. For writing abstract method, abstract class compulsory. For writing abstract class, abstract method not compulsory. That point you studied in core Java class. For writing abstract method, is it abstract class compulsory? Yes. For writing abstract class, is it abstract method compulsory? No. Like that. It is abstract class, no abstract method. Okay. Now, here, if we select first way, 5 methods you have to override. If you select second way, 1 method you have to override. If you select third way, no method mandatory, but you have to select compulsory. Otherwise, no error, no output. That is the reason you have to select to perform the task. But based on some characteristics, we'll select. Okay. That selection also I'll explain. First of all, note down. There are 3 ways to write Servlet program. First one, by implementing Jakarta.Servlet interface. Second one, by extending Jakarta.Servlet generic Servlet class. Third one, by extending Jakarta.Servlet.HTTP Servlet class. There are 3 ways to write Servlet program. First one, by implementing Jakarta.Servlet interface. Second one by extending jakarta.servlet generic servlet class. Third one by extending jakarta.servlet.hdp servlet class. 3 ways. Online students, listen the class. End of the session, I'll clarify your doubts. I said no. After setting class path also error comes. That is your mistake only. Already set class path means that is you have to check properly. That's what screenshots I'll share. By implementing jakarta.servlet interface, by extending jakarta.servlet.generic servlet class, by extending jakarta.servlet.hdp servlet class. 3 different ways. Now, if we implement servlet interface, how many methods mandatory to override? 5 methods. Okay. Alternative way, generic servlet. If we extend generic servlet, how many method mandatory? 1 method. That is service method. Okay. But here, no method mandatory, but we have a freedom to select list of methods. From one method, you have to select from list of methods. That later we'll see. First one program with this class only we'll see. Generic servlet class. Later HTTP servlet I'll explain. Okay. Now, according to steps, what is the first steps to develop web application? Create a web application folder structure. Now, for first program, I given folder structure. In that folder structure, how many folders are there? 3 folders. What are those? First tab, WebINF, classes. These 3. Now, I'll open command prompt. I'll start. You observe. Now I'll open command prompt. Now it is first program without Eclipse. Next program onwards, Eclipse only. If anyhow, servlets, you have to learn with Eclipse only because it takes more time otherwise. The folder structures, all those things, it takes more time with manually. From actually Eclipse, you have to start from here. Not from JDBC, not from Core Java. Eclipse, you have to start from here only. Okay. Now, here, first 3 folders we have to create. First tab folder, WebINF folder, classes folder. See, now just see, MD, make directory. MD, first tab folder created. CD, change directory. First tab folder. Okay. MD, WebINF. CD, WebINF. MD nothing but make directory. CD nothing but change directory. MD, classes. CD, classes. You observe 3 folders I created. You can check it. This PC, C drive. You observe. First tab. See, first tab. Just now created. Time also you can see. Okay. Just now created. In first tab. See, WebINF. In WebINF. Classes. Okay. Here. This folder is empty. Creating folder structure completed. Now this program, this order, everything write it. This just one program. You should know this process also. Okay. These all write it. You should have a knowledge without idea also. It is important. It is most important. You should know. Without idea also you should know. Right is all. Second program onwards, Eclipse. Eclipse steps 1, second program I'll explain. Third step directly only solid program you have to write. Remaining no need to write. First program without Eclipse, write the notes. Second program with Eclipse, write the notes. Third program onwards, only you have to write solid code. Because daily these all no need to write. Daily these steps no need to write. MD first step, CD first step. MD nothing but make directory, CD nothing but change directory, directory nothing but folder. In a Windows operating system, we are calling folder. DOS operating system, we are calling directory. So MD first tab folder created. CD first tab, we entered into first tab folder. In that MD WebINF folder created. CD WebINF, we entered into WebINF folder. MD classes folder created. CD classes, entered into classes folder. Here we have tried Servlet program. From here itself, you can start. You can write like this: start notepad first Servlet.java. That is one. Start notepad first Servlet.java. Start notepad first Servlet.java. Start notepad first Servlet.java. See, if I press enter, cannot find the first Servlet.java file. Do you want to create a new file? Yes. Click on S button. This program we'll see tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow we'll see continuation.